You can't get me. La 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 la. Oh shit! Okay, thank God, that's just the king.
Oh, that's just the king running for his life.
Yeah, the king's fine. Wait, they're actually all played. Oh no!
Can we play back the part where he asked if he could die?
What could have possibly dug me out of the nuclear cringe-resistant bunker I had to put myself in after experiencing that? Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn, developed by Guerrilla Games, is one of my favorite video games of all time. Its masterful storytelling, compelling world building, and tremendous gameplay made for one of the best games of the PS4 generation. Now, after a suitably long wait, its sequel is ready to debut and it has me hyped. We know video game sequels have a much higher hit rate than movies, and there are certainly elements of the original that can be improved. Its visuals, while gorgeous, tended to become rather samey after the long hours you want to spend in the game, and the combat, while innovative, lacked the depth and variety you'd want to see from the 100-hour experience the story so richly deserves. So with just a week to go before this potentially genre-defining title comes out, let's have a little fun. We all surf through headlines to figure out how our favorite games are being perceived by the media and the public at large, so I'm gonna play fortune teller. I'm Griff from Confused Feature Conversion, and these are 7 headlines that you could see about Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, take it away, Ernie. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Extra, extra! Horizon Forbidden West breaks records, shatters boundaries. I'm not exactly thinking outside the box with this one, but it's a distinct possibility. This game could be one of the biggest console exclusives of all time. While exact sales numbers are hard to find, current leaks put Horizon Zero Dawn at over 8 million copies sold and nearly $500 million of revenue on PlayStation alone, making it one of the most successful games of all time, despite the fact that its potential market is half that of most of the other games on the list. Its sequel, with all the anticipation going in and some brand new hardware to play it on, has every chance to outdo its predecessor and truly become the greatest console exclusive of all time. Exclusive, Horizon Zero Dawn, a total dumpster fire. These are not in order of likelihood. But after a headline that demonstrates how good the game can be, we have to point out that nothing is a sure thing in the world of video game development. Remember, Cyberpunk 2077 came off the back of The Witcher 3, another one of the most successful games of all time, also from another highly acclaimed developer, also making big promises, also seemingly a can't-miss 5-star experience. Nothing is a sure thing in this world, so let's not get complacent even when it comes to this. Guerrilla shames, ambitious goals fall well short. It wouldn't be as bad of an experience as a straight-up bad game, but it might very well be even more painful. A game that has lofty goals, but falls well short. The game wouldn't necessarily have to be bad for this to happen, just disappointing. Guerrilla Games has some ambitious goals for this title. Seamless environment switching from high mountains to diving underwater, and even deeper and more complex combat system capable of standing up to that 100-hour playthrough, plus a story that promises to be wider in scope than even what the first game delivered. It's entirely possible that all this stuff is done fine, but not worthy of the expectations that we're putting on it now. Combat evolved! On PlayStation this time. I think you're getting the pattern by now. I'm not a cynic, just a realist. And while history has demonstrated the myriad ways a game can fail spectacularly, Guerrilla's history has demonstrated their ability to give us something truly unique in the realm of combat. In Zero Dawn, the combat you were first introduced to was totally different from anything we've seen before. The AI made the robot animals unpredictable yet guessable in all the right ways. There was a variety of weapons to use and many different ways to use them. But as I've said a couple times, what the combat system lacked was true depth once you'd mastered the basics. This isn't a knock against the game by any means. This is incredibly difficult stuff. But it felt to me that there wasn't enough variety in the strategies you could employ that would make it more challenging in the late stages of the system. But this gives Guerrilla a huge advantage. They don't have to reinvent a combat system. They just have to tweak and add to the brilliant one they already have. I want to see more stealth options and more rewards given to stealth players. I want to see better ways to get out of a fight than just running away until the robots lose sight of you. And I want to see more ways to actually hunt the creatures. Maybe a mechanic where you have to actually track certain big game, or more ways to lure and isolate the robots you're hunting. I believe Guerrilla is capable of all this, and it looks like some of the changes they've made can go a long way to achieving some real evolved combat.
Breaking! Guerrilla Games hasn't done jack for years.
It's such a cruel world for video game developers. I absolutely empathize with them. Do too much and we call it a dud. Do too little and we complain that the games are too similar. It's a cruel reality, but it's the reality nonetheless. Which means Guerrilla absolutely is running the risk of not developing enough coming into this one. We don't need to see total overhauls in the systems that were proven to work in the first title, but giving us Horizon Zero Dawn with an underwater level is not enough. It's certainly conceivable that Guerrilla takes the conservative approach, fearing backlash for an overambitious attempt. I guess I've now contributed to the reason devs are so nervous about being overambitious, and I do think that we as gamers should be more forgiving of ambitious efforts that aren't executed correctly. Looking at you, Cyberpunk 2077. But hey, this video is about headlines not written by me that we might see next week, so I'm just trying to be a realist here. Don't call it a comeback! Forbidden West revitalizes single-player games! I think this has a lot more to do with media perceptions than actual player activity. See, we as players know the single-player only game is still thriving and we still love it, but there remains a media perception that there isn't any money in single-player only games, that there can't be any mainstream appeal if you don't have multiplayer. So, let's say this game does break records and sells more than 10 million copies. I could absolutely see a gaming media writing frenzied stories about how this is saving single-player games. Now, as we know, single-player games don't need saving, but come on, the gaming media needs a little help in this regard. Where does Aloy and the Horizon series fit among PlayStation's exclusive pantheon? Alright, this is kind of cheating, and also maybe a spoiler for a potential video going up on this very channel. But however this game is received, the question will inevitably be asked, is Horizon more Persona and God of War, or more The Order and Knack? This depends on more than just the quality of this particular game. A franchise can survive a sophomore slump. Many of the greatest franchises in gaming history have. The question will be, how much of a slump could this survive? How much more of a story is there to tell about Aloy? How open is the universe to other stories? And how much can the game mechanics be changed so as not to bore us out of our skulls in future installments? Again, this sounds like a discussion I might want to have in more depth once I've played the game, so drop a subscribe so you can be a part of that conversation. But the underlying point that I'm making is, based on the incredible success and quality of the first game, this very discussion is inevitable, and that is a credit to Guerrilla Games. Are you an aspiring headline writer out there that has an idea of your own? Let me know in the comments. Most importantly, make sure you subscribe to CFC. We may have taken some time off, but we've got tons of content coming for Horizon Forbidden West, including a Who Is It For and a full playthrough in our own eccentric style. So we'll see you there, but for now, play Horizon Zero Dawn if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one. We appreciate you.